A 10th straight night of U.S. attacks on Iran as President Trump vows Iran will pay after the deaths of 3 American soldiers over the weekend. U.S. Central Command says the latest strikes are targeting Iran's military assets used to fight for control of the Strait of Hormuz. The strikes come as Iran's president says his country is in a full-scale war with the United States. The deadly Iranian attack this weekend, it targeted a military base in Jordan. In addition to the 2 service members killed, a 3rd remains missing after that attack. In Iraq, another U.S. service member died after a controlled detonation of an Iranian drone. The name and picture of that soldier have not yet been released. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata has the latest on the escalating attacks.
Footage appearing to show the Iranian strike on the U.S. base in Jordan suggests troops had little or no warning. At least 2 soldiers were killed in that strike, a 3rd person missing. Today, the Pentagon released their identities. 19-year-old Private Isabella Gonzalez of Carrollton, Texas, and 25-year-old First Lieutenant Tyler James Feehan from Hawaii. It was the 3rd attack on that base in 24 hours, and now CBS News has learned that nearly 100 U.S. service members have been injured in the Middle East over the last few weeks. Most have returned to duty. How Iran's missiles managed to evade U.S. and Jordanian defenses show that Iran's tactics are evolving, says retired General Qasid Mahmoud. The Iranians have advanced technology and they improved missiles, he said, with unique capabilities that are tricking air defenses. In a post on Truth Social, President Trump warned every time Iran kills an American soldier, they will pay for that killing many times over, as the renewed U.S. bombing campaign in Iran enters its 10th night in a row. President Trump will attend the dignified transfer ceremony for those 2 fallen U.S. soldiers tomorrow night at the Dover Air Force Base. Since the war began, 17 U.S. service members have been killed, more than 430 wounded.
Let's bring in global affairs analyst Jonathan Wachtel for more on this. So, Jonathan, do these recent Iranian attacks on military bases and the deaths of U.S. troops change the strategy for the United States?
Certainly from President Trump's tough words, it actually is giving him cause to double down, to strike Iran even harder. So in terms of bringing down this conflict, to de-conflict here, it does not look likely.
We look at another night of U.S. strikes on Iranian military assets used to attack ships on the Strait of Hormuz. Are these strikes moving the needle, or where do they leave diplomatic talks?
Certainly, every time the U.S. manages to take out an Iranian installation, it, of course, lowers the heat in terms of their ability to lash out. That said, the Iranians have, all these drones and missiles, and they have mined the strait and other tactics to carry out its asymmetrical warfare in the Strait of Hormuz, which has created so much havoc in the previous weeks.
They're calling it controlled detonation of an Iranian drone. What do you make of that?
Serious ability for Iran to reach out into Iraq. Its adversaries, the Iraqi Kurds, have historically been problematic for the regime, and certainly the Kurds within the northern portion of Iran have always been a thorn in the side of the Iranian regime. In fact, the Kurds are actually disproportionately oppressed within Iran historically by the Islamic regime, killings and torture and imprisonment. So they are doing everything, the Iranians certainly are doing everything they see necessary to signal to the Iraqi Kurds, stay out of this fight.
Jonathan Wachtel. Jonathan, thank you.